All right, we're going to welcome you back to the Principals Podcast. We have on today's meet, we have Doug Hyam. There he is.
Hello, hello.
And we have Mr. Bandera.
Good morning, afternoon, or whatever time of day you're watching this.
And we have the Incredible Hulk, Blake Barker, joining us. And now we have Doug Snyder joining us on our recorded live podcast. So, Mr. Snyder, you want to say hello? Maybe he doesn't say hello.
Hey, everybody.
There he is. All right, so today's focus is going to be talking about baseball and also Blake, because Blake participated. Well, first of all, Blake is an extraordinary student first, great person, very humble young man, and he's obviously was a part of a great run with football, and he does know his way around the weight room. And now,
I'm going to stay clearly uncomfortable with these accolades by the look on his face right now.
Yes, true. But we want to talk about baseball because it's been a great start to the season, because you've had the opportunity to play in many games early on in the spring and many cool experiences, and another experience coming up this week with playing at Lake County Captain's Stadium. So, Blake, talk to us first about how this year has been for you as a student athlete.
So it started off a little rough, especially with the weather always changing. We got snowed out today and it's April. It's Ohio weather, so that's always gonna throw a wrench in the plans. But besides that, it's been pretty well. I've been able to get a lot of my work done and then still be able to hit the gym and get extra practice time and all of that in. And then right now we're 10-6 on the season, so we're doing pretty solid. We lost a few games we thought we should have won, but 10-6 is still very solid. So grateful to be a part of a team that's winning.
We got a lot of baseball minds here. Mr. Hyam, he is actually an umpire that you probably will not see, but we all want to see his final pulling of strike three call. Mr. Bandera absolutely loves the sport, and Mr. Snyder's middle name is Sport. And I've coached the sport, and actually I got to help out JV one day. So I got to see you guys. I saw your brother, who can hit the ball not as far as you, but wants to hit as far as you. So as a pitcher, talk to us a little bit about the mindset that you have at being a leader and all the different experiences you had through various sports, but now in your senior year, getting on the mound. Talk to us a little bit about your preparation.
So for about an hour is when the real preparation before a start happens. I like to do J-bands, which is you do your stretches on there and stuff like that. And then I like to do a slow, progressive, throw. So I'll start short, do some of my pitch grips and stuff like that, and then eventually get into a little bit of long toss. And then after that, it's about 10-15 minutes. You rest for a little bit, and then you go in and throw a bullpen before you pitch. And we try to do it so that my last warm-up pitch is about 10 minutes before the game starts, so I have a little bit of break, but I'm still pretty warmed up and ready to go. And then when I get out there, first pitch versus the batter, I always just try to throw first pitch strike, whether it's my slider, it's my changeup, or my fastball. Always just try to get a first pitch strike. And then from then, it's just trying to pound the zone.
Speaking of pounding the zone, what are you throwing this year? What's your top speed on your fastball this year?
So I topped out at 87 pitching versus Kenston, and for the first, I think, 3 innings, I was sitting 85 to 87, and then after that, it went down a little bit, but I was throwing pretty well that game.
I still wouldn't be able to see the ball. Okay, perfect.
Blake, superstitions are a big part of baseball and many sports, but baseball specifically. Do you have a superstition that you kind of apply maybe on pitch day?
Now, pitching, I really don't. It's kind of surprising that I don't, but hitting wise, I do have a superstition. I have to do the same exact routine every time I walk into the box. I always I walk up, take a deep breath, and then I touch the plate twice with my bat, and then I adjust like my right pant leg every time. And no matter what, I have to do that. But for pitching, there's nothing. I just kind of just go out there and throw.
So Blake, it's well known in these parts that you come from a baseball family, and I have a lot of respect for how your dad conducts himself at games, because if you just walked up and didn't really know much about the Barkers or much about Chardon baseball, you wouldn't even know that a former major league pitcher and a college baseball coach is in attendance. He just kind of sits back, lets the attention go to you, and I think as a dad and as a coach, that's really cool. My question is, knowing that your father is a former major league pitcher, pitched a perfect game and all that kind of thing, do you feel any additional pressure with that, or does that come up at all in your family conversations? How is that a part of who you are as a baseball player?
Yeah, so in the beginning when I was younger, it was a little more pressure, but I've kind of just gotten used to it, because to me, it's not like he was a former MLB player. To me, it's just my dad. It's not like anything special to me about that. But we do bring up at dinner sometimes, because I'll be like talking about getting hits or something, and I'll be like, bring up, hey, I'm a better hitter than you, and then he'll bring out he had like one hit off the wall in the MLB. He's like, how many hits do you have in the MLB? Always brings up stuff like that.
He's always got that trump card, man.
Exactly, and he never brings it up unless we bring it up first. And if we try to say something about him, he'll always back himself up.
I love it. He's got to serve up a little humble pie to you once in a while, right?
Yeah, exactly. He'll let me talk my talk until I bring him up. Once I bring him up, he's defended all the way.
That's awesome. So
which of you guys were there for the perfect game, since everyone in Cleveland said they were there, right?
I don't think any of us were. We were all not even a thought.
That's right. You know who was there that has the ticket stub is Mr. Jevnikar from GTV. Was in attendance and has the ticket stub. So like Mr. Bandera said, everybody now says that they were there if you're of a certain age. But he was in the park that night.
Here's the thing: Bandera wasn't even born.
I was not.
So I could tell you it was a Friday night. I could tell you it was on WAB channel 43, I believe. It was done by Bruce Drennan and Joe Tate were the commentators. So I remember watching the game and all those details, but I was out there, Slider. But I do remember all those small details.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So Blake, moving forward, what's your plans for when you graduate? College, baseball? That seems to be the $1 million question.
Yeah, so I'm planning on playing college baseball, and right now I'm between 4 schools. They're all D2 schools. It's Gannon, Mercyhurst, Seton Hill, and then Eastern New Mexico.
Okay. Oh.
And I don't really know what I'm leaning towards yet, but I have to make my decision pretty soon, so it'll probably be within the next week or so.
I can tell you that we played. I went to St. Vincent College, and one of our early close games that we would play was Seton Hill, because Greensburg is about 15 minutes away from Latrobe, Pennsylvania. I can tell you that there's not much to do in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. It is a cool little area, beautiful area, and they have a really good baseball program now, and also a very good lacrosse program. Have you been to Seton Hill yet?
Yeah, I visited like about a month or 2 ago or something like that.
Isn't it the coolest thing about going into that campus is that drive up the hill with all those trees?
Yeah, it was sweet. Like, I wasn't expecting it at all. Like, driving up, it was such a steep incline too that like I was like, what's at the top of this thing? And then it's just the campus right there, and it was sweet to see that.
So there may or may not be a group of kids that I'm aware of, because I took some art classes there, that would take the lunch trays and slide down that hill every winter. And what they would usually get in that area is ice storms. So it was even.
Hold on. They, right?
Yeah.
Them, those other kids.
Those other kids, no, because I would do that at my own school. But the other school, so you have 3 Pennsylvania schools, and then you have a random Arizona school. What have you visited that school?
No, so it's Eastern New Mexico, and
I'm not even sure Bandera could point to New Mexico on the map.
Yeah, New Mexico. I said Arizona. Yeah, New
Yeah,
Mexico.
you might take 3 tries.
It's down.
It's over.
exactly. That's all I knew. It was down and west. That's all I know, really. But
Down and go left.
It's warm there.
They
It
might
is.
not have snow today.
yeah, I was actually just texting with the coach, and he said it's like 90 something down there right now.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that
So
sounds a lot.
that decision sounds like you have 4 great options, and you probably can't go wrong with any of them.
Academically speaking, obviously you're extremely solid, and pretty sure that you have lived in the 4s your entire high school career. So academically, where do you want to take your majors towards?
So I'm planning something in the sciences for sure. I've been thinking pre-med mainly, but I don't know if I completely love that yet, but anything in the sciences, because the sciences are my favorite subject, and I'm pretty good with science and math. So I was thinking something like that.
Well, there's that math again, Murray. So let's bring in the math.
I didn't hear
Because
math.
every podcast we have to talk about math, and
This
You
is
know, he
usually
has
when I
some-
tune out, by the way.
well, let's
all I
wait a
heard
second
were-
here.
You just mute him.
He
Mark.
has some real gaudy
You
numbers. He has a batting average of 545, an OPS of 1.57. I mean, just gaudy numbers. So obviously, you have not seen any good pitchers this year. Joking aside, but is there anyone on our current staff at Chardon besides you that you would not want to step into the box to see?
That's a good one. I either say it's one of our lefties, either Schreffler or Elliott Tominsky. And Elliott has his fastball moves so much. So the way like it does, it's almost not even like a fastball. So like you look goofy when you swing and miss at it because you think it's going to be inside on you, and then out of nowhere it's right down the middle. And then Schreffler has pretty good velo, and he's known to be a little wild sometimes. So out of nowhere he'll run up one on you, so I don't want to get hit by him.
You're not digging in against him.
No way. And I think even if he is a little wild, I feel like he'd hit me on purpose. I don't even think it would be the wild factor. I think he'd be going at me.
Yeah, he wants to be on the mound more, doesn't he? That's the way to get on the bump. If you're out of the rotation, he moves up, right?
Yeah, he might have to aim for my head or something.
Addition by subtraction, I think, if you're talking math.
Blake, can you talk about the experience we got last Friday? First up, I was in heaven. I think Snyder was in heaven, but for you guys to actually be out there on the field and actually have some athletic ability, can you talk about how that was?
It was so awesome. I mean, the feel was just completely different than playing a regular baseball game. Like seeing balls in the outfield was completely different. Seeing all of the, all the stands going completely up, like fly balls, you wouldn't even be able to see the ball in the sky until like 2 or 3 seconds after it was hit. And it was so wild to see how different it is playing on a regular, like our field compared to that, because it's a completely different game almost, because you're looking at sky the whole game at our field, but there you're seeing bleachers the entire time, stands, bleachers, suites, all of that. And, it was just it was a surreal experience, honestly. That's all it really was.
And that field must be pretty slick since one of your teammates, I think, took a slide down when he was trying to round first, right?
Yeah, no. The dirt was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be nice, easy, smooth dirt, but it was hard. And I think I might have grabbed a few strands of grass and put it in my back pocket just to have it with me at all times. But it was completely different.
Fun day for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So on Sunday is going to feel much more like a high school game, because playing at Lake County Captain Stadium, it's a low contour of those seats. When the ball goes up in the air, you generally will treat it more like a high school game. Be mindful of the bullpen though, because it's much more like it was for Progressive Field, where you'll be pitching on the sides. But in the middle of warm-ups, I can tell you that I have seen so many balls go into play with kids throwing warm-ups and they have to call time. It's quite embarrassing. Not that you'll have that, but Schreffler might. He almost took out the first. I was at a game where a kid almost took out the first baseman on a wild throw in the bullpen. So that's going to be an awesome experience too. And it's so great that you're able to play baseball. Are you playing this summer, or are you focusing on the transition to college?
Yeah, so I'm playing. I play with the B2 Bulls, and we're doing it's almost like a college league. So I think it's 18 to 22 is the age group we're playing in. And there's a league, and I think it's not local. It's the close states. So we'll be going to Pennsylvania. I think we might go to Indiana and Kentucky and stuff like that. But it's almost like a professional team schedule. We'll be playing 3-game series and stuff like that. So it's completely different than anything I've done before in the summer. And it's also a wood bat league. And I've never used a wood bat in a live at bat ever in my life so far. So that'll be really interesting to see how that goes.
You're going to have to buy several, because if you don't hold it just right and hit it just right, it will be a souvenir.
Yeah, I broke one bat. I think it was my freshman year with Toddy pitching, and he likes to gas it up a little bit and threw an inside pitch on me, and then right on the swing, snapped completely in half.
Send him the bill.
Yeah, I should have.
No doubt.
So Blake, I know you're a state champ, but can you talk about your most recent championship by chance?
Oh, the arm wrestling championship. Yeah, no, I had a fierce competitor in Gavin Slife, and I honestly, going into it, I thought he had me beat because, it's Gavin Slife. He's a scary man, and I thought I had no.
Sorry, he's a scary dude.
That's all it really is. Going into it, I didn't think strength, numbers, anything like that. I was just thinking, when I think about Gavin, that's just a bad man right there.
Is your brother trying to follow in your footsteps and getting in that weight room and trying to be a beefcake by the time he gets in senior year?
I'm pretty sure, because during the quarantine, he kind of he lifted with me, and I think he's taken after me now, because after practice, I always when I get home, because JV normally ends a little earlier or their practice is later, he's either going to lift when I get home, already lifting, or lifted and is now going to practice. So I think he's going to turn just like me.
So my last question, of all of your accomplishments around here, one of the most legendary will be on the football field when you chased down that dude and got him at the 2-yard line. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Was that the Canfield game?
I think it was Warren Howland.
Warren Howland. Okay, so they got a kid breaking away, for those of you who don't know. And it looks like he's on his way to a touchdown. And out of nowhere comes Blake, chases him down, pushes him out of bounds, tackles him at the 2 or 3 yard line, and we held them on 4 consecutive plays and they didn't score. And I've heard more than one football coach say that they will be talking about that play around Chardon football forever. So what was going through your mind as you're chasing that kid down?
So for that, we were in a different package than we normally are in. So I was at corner. So that's not my ideal position on defense, but I was at corner, and I saw the play breaking loose, and the wide receiver who's coming out to block me was holding me. So I kind of threw my hands up and tried to get him to let go. And I saw him breaking past me. And after I threw my hands up to try to be yo, he's holding me, he let go right then. And then right after that, I just took off, and I was just, my only focus was just getting his foot, because I knew that if I could catch up to his foot, I would be able to tackle him no matter what.
And you did. So, coaches talk all the time, never quit on a play, never quit on a play, never quit on a play. And I know you know this, but they will be talking about that around here for a long time, because it would have been easy just to say, well, we have a lead, we'll give them one touchdown, but you chased them down, and then the defense dug in, and probably Slife was doing some things at nose tackle that we don't want to talk about to help hold them on 4 consecutive downs. But I was at the opposite end zone, and I kind of had an angle watching, like, holy cow, he's going to catch him. But that was a pretty cool play.
I don't think anyone realized you were that fast until that moment either. So.
Oh yeah, I knew I had the speed.
Good stuff.
Some of my favorite moments, because I made all those highlight videos, was whenever they threw a screen pass to you.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that a bulldozer was about to take out like a bunch of dudes, and it was hilarious that some guys, they must have watched game tape, they just got out of the way. They try to tackle you with their shoulder, and then they would fly 5 yards out of bounds. Those were screen pass to Blake. You're definitely going to get 10 plus yards.
Yeah, those were some of my favorite plays, because I knew that most of the time I'm just going to run. I don't even have to do much work. It's just catch the ball and go straight up the field.
Yep. So we always end our podcast with gratitude, and we wanted to give everyone the opportunity to take a moment to show some gratitude, someone they want to give a shout out to this week. Last week, we ended up going first with the admin. Blake, I gave you a little heads up this is coming. So, Blake, who do you want to give gratitude this week to?
So I want to shout out Matthew Mysick, because, he's working hard every day. He throws to guys in BP, and, he never complains about his playing time. He doesn't get the most playing time out of anyone, but he's always there cheering on the team, working his butt off, and, he's just grateful to be there. So he's a fantastic teammate to have, and I just know that he's a guy who you want to be around.
Well said. That's one of the greatest compliments anyone can give you, is that you're a fantastic teammate. So well said.
Was it Mysick last week that put one off the Terrace Club glass too?
It might have been. I don't know, but
I think
whoever
he's still
did
gonna
it,
build.
that was sweet.
He had the parrot out there when he was on second base.
I remember that too.
Mr. Bandera?
I want to give a shout out to someone that's recently back in the building, and it's a very pleasant sight to see. That's Mrs. Ellen Clark. Mrs. Clark was on maternity leave for a little while, and she's back in the building, and she was well missed by students, by other teachers, by everyone. And now she has, I don't know, a whole crew of kids at home. I think there's 4 total now, all under the age of like kindergarten or something. I don't know. They're all these girls. They're crazy young, and they're awesome. So I know she misses them, but we're happy to have her back here in the building. So,
Mr. Hine?
I'm going to give a shout out to someone who's stepping in for someone who's out the last few weeks, and that's Spencer. Everyone knows Spencer by Spencer. He's stepping in, keeping things in line, really making sure that we're not losing a beat here at the building. So I really appreciate everything he's doing for us.
Mr. Snyder?
I don't remember who I gave a shout out to last time, so if this is a duplicate, I apologize for that. But I want to give a shout out to our maintenance guys for all they do for athletics. There's all kinds of things to do with maintenance in our buildings around here, holes in the ceiling and that kind of thing. But on top of all of that, they're prepping baseball and softball fields. They're getting the grass mowed around the track. They're clearing off the tennis courts. So they do a whole lot for all of our athletes and coaches in the springtime, especially. So I want to thank them for everything that they do.
There's a lot of people I want to give gratitude for. Obviously, our spring sport athletes, in particular, some of the rivalry week games, are starting up, and they're doing great things towards continuing to that competitiveness of the entire school year. But more so in the building, this week we celebrate administrative assistants, and in particular, our front office staff have been remarkable. We've been down as secretary for a couple weeks, and 2 ladies, Diana Norris and Jen Sprinzel, have been doing multiple jobs, and doing so with with a smile, as much as it can't be a smile to take on an additional job. So I want to give thanks to them. I want to give thanks to Blake for joining us. I don't know if we'll ever see Jake on this podcast, unless he is able to fill your britches, not just by physicality, but all the things that you do to give back. And he's a great kid too. I want to give thanks to your parents for raising great kids. So good luck this week.
Let's go with a shout out to Murray for just dropping the word britches.
Britches. Yeah.
I mean, like most people can't do that with a straight face. You just like drop that like you do it every day.
Maybe I do. So good luck this weekend. Good luck to the rest of the baseball team.
Thank you.
And Mr. Long, I know that you would take him long if he was throwing on the mound. He's one that would love to talk smack against you and him in the cage. Say I could strike you out in 4 pitches.
He's hit me before, so I don't know about that.
I don't know. I think he'd have a case of whiplash if he pitched to you. So put that on record.
All right. Well, great luck. Good luck this weekend and the rest of the season, the rest of the spring sports. We're going to try to get them on here in the next few weeks. But this week, baseball. So have a great weekend and go Toppers.
See you guys.
Toppers.
Yep.
See ya.